I think here is a place where you hear yourself think. They almost stretch your thinking in every area. The greatest thinkers on different issues, on research areas, even in technology, they are here. You go to any discussion or panel, you have no choice but to come out with your own perspective being expanded a little bit more.
Yeah.
You hear yourself think.
Absolutely. So from your perspective, some of the sessions that you have attended, give us some of the ideas that you have picked up that perhaps would be suitable for Africa. I was watching Twitter and I saw Africa actually was trending yesterday, which is a fantastic piece of news for the continent.
Look, I think collaboration, innovation are the big things. Employment creation is what every part of the world is trying to deal with, and stability of growth in the next 10 years. I mean, it's frightening to understand that in Africa alone, in sub-Saharan Africa, we've got to create about 145 million jobs in this 10 years, where industry is not really, in terms of outlook, as bullish about expansion and growth.
Sure.
And then you're looking at the issues of regional integration, which, as you listen to the European challenges, they would still find value in being together. Some of them have got small populations, and the only way to survive is to be in partners with others. There's a lot of learnings there. But generally, with the current crisis, Europe can learn from Africa. Africa can learn to not continue the same mistakes.
Absolutely.
Asia as well. I mean, everywhere you look is about humanity, is about our survival into the future. It's about being smarter. You listen well, there's always something you can apply to your company.
And in terms of the sessions that you have attended, which one has struck you the most? And I just want to get an idea of why.
Obviously, because of an interest with the IDC, where we have given management capital allocation to invest in all of the continent. The sessions that I spent a lot of hours on had to do with listening to the political leadership in the continent.
Right. Continent of Africa.
Yes, in the continent of Africa, to figure out where they are finding synergies, where they are finding differences. Are they aware that they are part of a challenging time? Are they changing? Are they as robust and as bullish about what the possibilities are? I spend more time on that, and I think it has been very valuable to think about how, as the IDC, we can begin to approach the frontier markets of the continent.
Absolutely.
How?
Right.
With a huge population of the youth.
Yeah. Now, of course, Africa, as I said, is beginning to trend, and people are beginning to talk more about Africa as a land of opportunity. Now, as the IDC, where are you looking in terms of the African continent? Where are you putting your money?
Everywhere.
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 Let's talk about those areas, and let's also talk about those industries where you're putting that money.
I think the first priority for us right now is energy. We have to admit that at this stage we're engaging a lot in what is happening around Mozambique, figuring out whether the transmission lines will come out out of Mosul. We're looking at what is happening around the DRC. Obviously, a lot of our investment has been behind industrialists in the mining sector.
Right.
We're now watching a number of retailers expanding into the continent, further into the continent out of South Africa. But basically, we are trying to find infrastructure investments that begin to integrate the economies of Africa. And energy is one, water is another.
Right.
And then because we are such a resource-rich continent, you'll still find out that largely we are behind some of the expansions and new developments in mining.
I haven't heard the one name that most people talk about when they talk about Africa, Nigeria. You're not active in Nigeria?
We're always behind every industrialist, every business owner that goes into the continent. Nigeria is one of the frontier markets.
Certainly. In terms of numbers here, what are we targeting for 2012 from the IDC perspective?
We're still hoping to be able to advance. Our appetite was to do 100 billion rand.
100 billion rand.
Not in 1 year, in 3 years. And the absorption capacity is always a challenge.
Sure.
It takes a while.
Sure.
But we really would like to be able to do that large sum because the needs are huge, the capital is there. We realize that we need to create more and more entrepreneurs on the back of whom we can do more deals.
Sure.
But here are the African entrepreneurs. Let them partner. Let them look at people that can come along with them. The IDC is there to back them.
Absolutely. One of the conversations that has come up in the sessions that I've attended is the issue of the political will of the African leadership. Now, in terms of the investors and entrepreneurs that you talk to, are they finding that politicians are becoming a little more open and amenable to working with the private sector and accepting the role of the private sector in accelerating development?
I think one of the best examples has really been the approach by President Goodluck Jonathan in Nigeria on a very difficult matter of subsidies, because the investors will always be looking at the opportunity to have a sustained growth in their investments from good regulations, good rule of law. And I think we've got a new political leadership in the continent that realizes that it's going to be painful. We've got to be inclusive, take the population along, let people know why you're doing the things that you're doing. Because if we do not set the environment properly for investment, IDC will know that. I mean, the President of South Africa mentioned issues such as water licenses in South Africa.
Sure.
You'd find out that most of the investments that we could be doing now, they've been stuck because the issues around water license cannot be resolved, or they are stuck in environmental management processes that, while important, is about finding the most efficient way to do them.
Absolutely.
And I'm very hopeful. I'm very positive. In fact, I'm bullish.